Hey everybody, so I wanted to make this video and I've been very nervous to make this video because I'm wondering if, more than a few of you are subscribed to me because I've been talking so positively about the After movie. But I wanted to make a video because, again, I've been feeling very torn since I first saw the movie. And before I say any of what I'm about to say, I will continue to say I really do like this movie. I think that there is stuff to like about this movie. But the more that I think about it, the more that I see it, because I have seen it multiple times at this point. I think I'm up to 5 times at this point, which I know some of y'all are going to be like, really? 5 times? But yes, 5 times I have seen this movie, and I will continue to see this thing as long as it's in theaters. Maybe not every day, but I will definitely still be going to multiple showings of this film. But I finally wanted to have like a cathartic release and talk very openly and honestly about what I feel are a lot of the issues with this movie. And in another video that I did, I pretty much gave Jenny Gage a pass. I gave the director a pass. But the more that I think about it, the buck pretty much stops with her. The buck stops with the director. The director is God on the set. The director is the one who has the final say. And what I found kind of funny, because I've been feeling like this ever since I first saw the movie, is that even the veteran actors like Selma Blair, Peter Gallagher, Jennifer Beals, even they felt like they had no direction and were not really sure what they were doing in their scenes. And that's the problem, is that when you are a director of a movie, I mean, even if you get like the most veteran of actors, we are narcissistic people. We as actors are very narcissistic people. And we need to be told that we are doing a great job. We need to be told when we are fucking up. And that's what this film felt like a lot of the time. It felt like the director was way more concerned with the shots of the movie than actually directing her actors. That you can definitely see that in multiple scenes where the supporting cast literally looks like they have no idea what to do, where they have no idea how to react. I mean, think about the bet or the dare reveal scene for a second. Yes, this video will also contain spoilers for the film, but a lot of people who will watch this video have seen the film at this point or know what the film is at this point. Think about the dare reveal sequence, because it isn't the bet reveal, it's the dare reveal sequence for a minute. Look at the actors' reactions. You can see Jo, who is crying her eyes out. You can see how pained Hero looks in that sequence. But look at all the supporting actors for a minute. Look at their faces, and you can see how aimless they feel. How like they are not even sure on how to react in that sequence. Like, you really don't really see like any emotions out of them. Even Molly, it's never an emotion. I mean, I blame the director, because even the worst actor, if they get like the best director in the world, if they can get a director who can really work with them and play to their strengths, then they can turn even the worst actors into who will give passable performances, who actually give good performances. Maybe not the greatest, maybe not awards worthy, but they will still give good performances. And the problem is that a lot of these actors just felt aimless. A lot of these actors felt like they had no direction whatsoever. Jo and Hero revealed in an interview that the scene in the rain, the scene at the end of the movie, or towards the end of the movie, like I think like the dare reveal sequence. And again, like, I'm not really sure like what they're talking about. Are they talking about the part of the scene where she was like running off and he was, looking, pained, in the rain? Like, is that the scene that took 16 hours to shoot? Or was it the scene outside the restaurant just before that moment that took 16 hours to shoot? Well, either way, that is ridiculous. That pretty much screams that somebody who was in charge had no idea what they wanted. Had no idea what they wanted, or had no idea how to get what they wanted. Now, before anybody starts, screaming in the comments, I know that actors work 16 hours a day. I know that actors work ridiculously long days. I get that. But to spend that much time on one scene that is just two actors talk, especially an emotional sequence, because the more that you do something, because like a lot of the time for emotional sequences, the idea on set will be, to get in, get out, do this in as little time as possible, because the more time you make these actors do it, the less emotions that you're going to get. Like the more drained that they're going to feel by the end of it. The more, the lesser that the performance will be all throughout the day. So usually a lot of the time when it is like this big emotional sequence, it will not be 16 hours a day. It will not be spending, one day on a 16-hour day on just one sequence. Because like the only time when I really heard 16 hours a day or even like over multiple days on one sequence is, again, like think about the Truth or Dare sequence. Like if they said like, oh, that scene took 16 hours to shoot, or we had to shoot that over multiple days, that is understandable, because now you have pretty much like all your major cast, or chunks of your major cast in the same room. You have to get everybody's coverage, you have to get everybody's close up, you have to get everybody's dialogue in. Yeah, I can see that going 16 hours. But just that scene in the if the part of the rain sequence that they're saying like, oh, this took 16 hours to shoot, if the part that they're talking about is the scene outside the restaurant, where they're just standing there talking, like that should not have taken 16 hours. That feels like complete overkill, and that feels like somebody had no idea what they wanted or how to get it. And at some point, because again, Hero is standing there stoic during that sequence. It's Joe who's having to, pull all these emotions out of her. Like, Hero is just standing there, very stoic in that sequence, or Hardin is, is standing there very stoic during that sequence. I mean, he's not really, pouring on like the full tears, not really like, pouring out like the full emotions. She is. And at some point, if I was him, I would literally turn to the producer. I would say, screw my career, because like at this point, you'll be considered hard to work with. You'll be considered whiny or complainy or all this. I would have turned to the producers and the director at some point and said, okay, what do you want? We have been here for 16 hours. Tell me what the fuck you want in this sequence. Because this girl has been, just been turning it on all fucking day, and I'm pretty sure even she's getting tired of this shit. So tell me what you want. Tell me explicitly in this moment, what do you want? Tell me that now, and I will give it to you. We will give it to you. But tell us now, what do you want? Because spending 16 hours on that particular part, if that's the part that they're talking about, that is ridiculous. And that screams that somebody had no idea what they wanted. Now, I know I gave the director a pass in another video, but like I said, the buck stops with the director. The director is like, the director is the one who always should, get the full blame of any production. The director, because like the director is God. The director is the end all be all. The director is the final say, unless they are a gun for hire, director. And you know what? This film is not big enough to be a gun for hire director. This was an independent film where the director should have more power, where it should not be falling on the producers. But yeah, 16 hours a day just feels like, yeah, somebody had no idea what they wanted. But again, the director is not the only one who is going to get my ire during this review. At the end of the day, it's the script. The script is that even when you have the best actors in the world working on your movie, if you do not have a script, then there's your issue. Then there's the problem. Like, even the best actors cannot make like a terrible script work. And this is one of those situations, like a person who commented on a video I did, put up an interview or put up like a quote from an interview talking about the script. And pretty much Tamara Chestnut gave like this interview, and this is like where this person is getting this quote from, and she pretty much says that this was a rewrite assignment that came to me via my management company, who also reps the director on the movie. The filmmakers had just been hired and wanted a new writer to come on and rework the script. So I read the existing script, the book it was based on, and watched the director's movie before I went in for the meeting. I pitched them what I would do with this material, and the changes I wanted to make, and within a week I had the job. Because the team, and here's the key part in this. Here's the part that gets me, and it's like, oh, so that's why the script felt weak. Because the team already had a production start date a few months away, this was a much faster process, and we got to work right away, creating an outline and then diving right into the script within a few weeks of my first meeting. And then the person just asked me, what do I think about this? And again, I think that that's a problem that plagues a lot of Hollywood production, but you usually see that on big blockbuster movies, on these big summer tentpole movies, where I think even directors have said this in the past. I think even, producers have said this in the past, that there's a problem here, is that you get that before you even have a script, you have a start date, you have a release date, and it's just a go, 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 go. You have to make this date. Screw everything else. Everything is set in stone. So it does not matter if we do not have a script by the time, or do not have the strongest of scripts by the time, filming starts. Oh, we'll just figure it out on the set. So we have a production start date. We have a release date. Make it work. We're sorry, but, make it work. We can't move off of this. And again, I think that you would that would kind of, fall into the category of, I guess Avrion Pictures can also take the blame on that part. Another thing that I felt as I was watching the film, that I kind of felt like this the first time I saw it, and I will still praise, some parts of the film, but the problem is that the cold hard truth is that it feels like they were almost embarrassed by this source material. That they felt like they had to overfix everything so as not to be controversial, so as not to, cause any waves, that they overcorrected this film. That it feels like that they were really embarrassed by this source material, from the sexual content to the controversial nature of it to Hardin's behavior. Because like I said in other videos, there is a happy medium between, the problematic nature of the book, between the abusive nature of this relationship, the toxic nature of this relationship, and the sunshine, fluffy, happy rainbows that we got presented in the film. There is a happy medium. And again, this comes back down to the director, and this is why I'm going to finally say, I think that they need, or I'm going to officially say it, they need a new director on the film. They need a new director. If they end up getting a sequel, which we are slowly creeping toward the amount of money that, yes, we are getting to that area where it's like, okay, you guys are going to have to make a decision. Are you going to do a sequel or are you not? Because you cannot blame the box office anymore. And again, like I said in other videos, foreign means a whole lot more than the U.S. A lot of the times studios will look more at foreign than they will at domestic. Because a lot of the time it's because of foreign sales. It's because of foreign box office that we actually get sequels to a lot of things. You can say that for Pacific Rim. If we ever get the Warcraft sequel, it will be 100% because of overseas and have nothing to do with us. Mamma Mia is another film that did gangbusters overseas, which I can say that that's why we got a sequel to that. They got, the Tomb Raider sequel in development that I can guarantee you that's because of overseas. But again, they are getting to that area where they're going to need to make a decision. Okay, are we going to do a sequel or are we not? Because the box office is slowly creeping to that area where it's like, okay, we are now in profitable territory. And yes, we need to make this decision here and now. We need to make this decision. Okay, are we going to do it? Because we cannot blame the box office anymore. I will never call this film a monstrosity. I still like it enough that I will never call it a monstrosity, but I will never sit here and pretend, and I think that that's part of a problem that kind of has torn me up, I think, even more inside, is that it does kind of feel that at times, over the past, week, I have kind of sat here and pretended like this is the greatest movie of all time, and I never want to do that, and I do apologize if it's ever felt if you ever feel like you're calling me delusional, if you're ever looking at these videos and saying oh my God, he's delusional. Oh my God, how can he sit there and not, see that there are multiple issues with this film. So yeah, that's what this video is about. It's admitting the cold hard truths that this film is a film that, while I still like it, because I will never diss Joe and Hero's performances. If I had any issue with their performances, it comes down to the script. It comes down to the director. It has nothing to do with them, because at the end of the day, they never should have been given this much responsibility. No green actors should never be given this kind of responsibility where they have to shoulder this entire film. Because at the end of the day, that's the problem here, is that these two actors felt like they were hung out to dry by a director who had no idea what she was doing, by producers who could not even step in and say, hey, there's a problem here, by an author who in the beginning wanted to claim that, she had all the power in the world, but now is sort of backing off on that. Because, look, the directors should be the one who is rehearsing with the actors. So it always sent up multiple red flags in my head, or multiple alarm bells going off in my head, when Anna Todd point blank has said in interviews that she rehearsed with the actors, that she rewrote the script on set. Which, okay, again, like with some films, that's normal. I mean, you get rewrites all the time. I mean, there's no issue there. But she should have never been the one to rehearse with these actors. That should have never been Anna Todd's responsibility to rehearse with the actors. She could have been there for rehearsals. She could have had her input with the rehearsals. But the director is the one who should have been there rehearsing with these actors. The director is the one who should have been the one to go off into the corner with the actors and say, okay, let's talk about your characters. Let's talk about the scene. Let's just talk this through. And not leave that to Anna Todd. Anna Todd never should have been given... I mean, I'm not going to say that she shouldn't have been given that. I mean, she's the author of the book. She knows these characters better than anyone. But the director is the one who should be rehearsing with the actors. I don't want to see this turn into 50 Shades, where they take, 2 years to come out with the sequel. I don't want to see that. But I also don't want another film where repeatedly, like once I started hearing like all these issues, once I started hearing like all this behind the scenes stuff, that, the script was rushed, like one scene, that shouldn't have taken 16 hours to shoot, was taking like 16 hours to shoot. I don't want the next film to be rushed, but I also don't want to have to sit here and wait 2 years for that film to come out. Because one of the problems I have with 50 Shades, and I think I've said this in another video, again, about the after film, is the fact of the matter is that in terms of the movie timeline, the next two 50 Shades movie, or at least the next 50 Shades movie, I think is like only like a couple of days, maybe even a week, in terms of the timeline, like where these films take place, between the films, and yet, when the second film opens, you can clearly see that no, it hasn't been 2 weeks. This thing clearly has been shot, years apart, where the actors look like they are years older, and not, only like a couple of weeks has passed. But again, I mean, I'm gonna keep saying it over and over and over again. I will never blame these actors, not even the supporting cast, who really, kind of really had just nothing to do in this. To the point, let me tell you how bad this got. I went with somebody to go see this film, who had never read the book, who knows nothing about the books, and by the end of it, and I even said this to her last night because I was trying to put together my thoughts for this video, to kind of test this out. And I said to her, name one character, just one character's name, just name one person's name. They said it all throughout the movie. They said these characters' names repeatedly, just one name. And then I said, if you can do that, I will never go to another movie again, which that's a big thing for me, but I knew there was like no risk in this. And I kind of quickly added the caveat that you cannot say that their names are tattoo artist, tattoo artist, other guy, roommate, lesbian, bitch, main girl, British guy. I should have said guy in the classroom, but I don't think like she would even realize that. So I just said black guy. Yeah, those are the 8 and ex-boyfriend and mom. So yeah, those are like the 10 main characters, or like the 10 characters. And she said, nope, can't do it. Can't name one person. And I was like, that is the mark of a true, somebody has screwed up. That to where somebody who, has, not read the book, cannot even though they said their names repeatedly throughout the film, could not name one character in this movie. You sirs and madams have screwed up. You script writers have screwed up. You director has screwed up. And again, it comes back to the fact that they were embarrassed by this source material. And so if you have a director who wants to take the film in such an extreme opposite direction, don't go with that person. This time I will put it on the producers here. Do not go with that person. I'm sure you can find somebody else. I'm sure that this wasn't a situation where you went to like every other director in town and they were like, yep, nope, don't want to touch this. Yep, nope, don't like this. Don't want to do this. But yeah, I mean, you need to get a director who actually wants to respect the source material, who doesn't feel embarrassed by the source material. And I'm wondering if we are inching closer to hearing that yes, the director has been fired. Because like even in interviews now, it seems like that the director is finally getting the brunt of this. It seems like they're finally, kind of throwing the director under the bus, which like I said, it should always, unless this is like a big Hollywood production, where the director is essentially a gun for hire, just there to be a yes man, whatever. Like a summer tentpole movie, then yes, the director should always take the brunt of the blame. That because again, you could not even do your job. That even to the point that you had, truly veteran actors like Selma Blair, Peter Gallagher, and Jennifer Beals, who even they looked like that they were, floating aimlessly in the wind with no direction or no idea what to do. And that is the mark of somebody who you need to go with somebody new for the second one. You need to start over fresh. And it sounds like that they're not really there yet. It sounds like they're not there yet, like fully admitting like, yeah, we kind of screwed this up. But it seems like that every day we're getting closer and closer, because like every day they're still trying, to get this thing to make money, but they are starting to say, okay, yeah, we screwed up. Yeah, we know what we have to fix if we end up getting the sequel. And I think that one of the big things that I think we're going to hear over the next couple of months is that the director is done, that they're going with somebody else for the sequel. So this is the time for everybody to sort of like jump down to the comment section. Please don't unsubscribe, please don't, I still really like the film. But this is the time for everybody, jump down to the comment section, if you still love the film, like if you still love the film and you want to say that I'm completely wrong and there are no problems with it, even let me know that. If you are somebody who finally wants to, have a cathartic moment and release and say like, hey, yeah, there are about 1 million issues with this, leave that comment too. This is the video to do that. So leave a comment. Remember to hit that like button. And like I said in another video yesterday, when we hit 200 subscribers, I will start the After We Collided read through. It's going to happen no matter what, but I think that we're close enough to where I can promise that, where I can actually just sit here and say, well, I'll just wait for 200 subscribers. So remember to click that like button. Remember to, jump down to the comment section and sound off. And remember, I'll see you later after Naders. Take care, y'all.